Okay, so I'm Maddie,
I'm Riley.
and our presentation is about the Gazette of the United States of America. So welcome. You obviously just got dropped into the late 1700s. So let me give you a little bit of information about our newspaper and what's going on. So our newspaper was printed for the purpose of Federalist readers in the state of New York. It was number 26 of volume 3, printed in Philadelphia, but the paper is still for the readers of New Yorkers. So about our Gazette is biased towards the Federalist Party. They really like John Adams, and they talk about a lot about him and all the good things that he does. And there's a partisan slant towards the Federalists as well. And here's just a little quote about an example of some of the things that they would say in the papers. Like, if Jefferson was a Jacobin, a shameless Southern libertine, and a howling atheist, Adams was a Tory, a vain Yankee scold, and, if truth be known, quite mad. This exact quote isn't from our paper, but it's similar to the ones that are in our paper. Okay, the price of goods. So back in I guess now where you are, um, goods are really expensive, but they don't seem that expensive. But obviously, because of inflation and things, the prices are going to be a lot different. Like, salt is sold per gallon, $6 then. Well, I guess still now, $65.92 is what it would be in our time right now in 2022. So, same with sugar, $5, and is actually in our time 82.40. As we go down, everything's quite expensive. Okay, so now we're going to go into what to wear and not what to wear. This is very important because you don't want to give away that you're a time traveler, obviously, and you could probably be thrown out to sea or hung if you don't wear the right things. So what you do need to wear: vintage clothing, 18th century trends like the ones shown here. Dresses with floral patterns are good. Men's shirts, waistcoats, coats, and breeches. Women's, you need to wear shifts, petticoats, and dresses or jackets. Make sure you curl or wave your hair. Nobody straightened their hair back in this time, so do not do that. And wear heavy makeup. Both men and women need to wear makeup. Do not do modern trends like cropping your shirts or rolling your pants. Don't express how you want to dress. Don't straighten your hair. Don't not wear makeup. Don't wear random shoes. Each outfit that you have should match your dress or your suit. So in this newspaper, there's quite a few little alarms or pop-ups that say public notice is hereby given. So this specific article right here talks about how James Gardner has paid off his debts to Thomas Mackey, James Hood, and the merchants in Philadelphia and New York. So just be aware of those. Okay, so some information that you need to know. The president in this time is, who is it again, Riley? The vice president is John Adams. The vice president's John Adams. Okay, well, I don't know who the president is, so that's a flaw on my part. Everything is so spendy. This is because of inflation. Don't worry about it. Newspaper media, it's a little bit different back then. Everything gets around by newspaper. There's no Apple News notifications or Snapchat stories. You can't get your news right away. So you need to make sure that you're reading the newspapers, staying on top of things, knowing what you're talking about when conversating with people. Also, do not get yourself into trouble. There's a lot of laws that ban people that are foreigners because they think that they're they have conspiracies against the Americans. So you just need to be careful and try to stay out of everybody's way. So now we're going to talk about some national and political awareness that you need to have. Okay, national and political contests locally. So the big election of 1800 didn't come till a few years later, so don't worry about that too much, but all those same people are still around. So national and political contests are affected locally by these New Yorkers in many ways. The Gazette of the United States is heavily swayed towards the Federalist Party, so you need to make sure you're not talking about the Democratic Republicans in super good ways because most of the New York population is actually Federalist. Make sure that you have a good opinion about John Adams, especially this paper talks about all the good things that he does. So you just need to be careful about what you say. So all of the negative attacks that this paper has are geared towards the Democratic Republican Party. They're very favorable of John Adams, just like I said. They say he's unimpeachable. They say that he's one of the most perfect figures of government that America has ever seen. And they also go and talk about things that other people have said about John Adams and say that they're crazy, or in this case, that it's unsupported. Or actually, if you look down in this yellow highlighted, it says that or in this, okay, I'm lost, but anyways, it says that the people that are making these remarks are totally unfit and they themselves are not even able to say this.
All right, we're going to look at some source comparisons between the Gazette of the United States and today's paper of 2022. So most of the Gazette of the United States was very biased and was very pro-federalist on everything and towards John Adams. So that's just one thing to keep in mind as you're going through this time. The first article on the left is about a foreign policy in England and how the game laws in England are unfair to those compared in France. They go on to talk about how the game laws in England are unfair and create monopolies, and that those in France are far superior. This author talks in the way that he's very entitled and that he is like almost writing to someone. And then this current article from today is from the New York Times, and it's an article on why the new president, or President Biden, has not selected an ambassador to the capital of Ukraine. This is really important because the ambassadors play a key role with the relationship of the between U.S. and Ukraine, especially during times when we are transitioning between presidents. Our second source comparison is again between the Gazette of the United States and the New Yorker. So first, the article we're looking at is from the Gazette, and it is from News from Philadelphia, and talks about a battle, or a war, I guess, between Turkey and the Russians. The article talks about losses and gains between the two nations. It states that the Turks have gained an advantage over Russia. They go on to talk about political news and that you can be elected to one legislature and an upcoming legislature, but not in the interval of 2 years. And the New Yorker article talks about how Democrats of the House of Representatives are trying to get equal representation for their employees of the chamber to have the same labor rights and all other rights as all federal workers. This is a step in the right direction for offering the same rights of protection to employees of the chamber. However, it is unsure if the resolution will make it through Congress.
So adding on to our source list, I just wanted to mention that the music that we're using is a song called Invitation to something by the Classical Sensibilities, the Jane Austen Companion, music from 1775 to 1817. We wish you good luck and good riddance on your journey through the late 1700s through the 1800s. So be careful out there.